days? Where they at? I ain't seen them, and I was there. You kids have no idea how lucky you are. So you want to hear about the good old days, I'm going to tell you. You couldn't do nothing that you wanted to do. And you better not open up your mouth, or they knock your brains clean out. They hit my brother in his mouth so much with that backhanded lick. His lips was way out to there. Kind of looked like he had on a turtleneck sweater. Everything your parents picked for you to do. Good for you to love, good for you to go out with, even who for you to marry. Now you think about that. Somebody picking somebody for you that you got to spend the rest of your days with. It didn't matter what condition it was in, as long as Daddy says so, that was it. And I was a child. I was just a mere child, 14, going on 15 years old. I admit I was as cute as I wanted to be now. Oh yeah, I had hair, it just flowing all down my back. That's because I'm half Indian. The other half, well, the beauty politics care of that. And there was this old, dead, puny, moldy, ashy man. I'm talking about an old man, older than his own mother. He was so old, we went to his sister's funeral. The undertaker came over and tapped him on his shoulder. He said, "Excuse me, how old are you, Pops?" He said, 91. Oh, ain't no use to you going home then. And his brother, he married a girl that was 13 years old. He lived with 5 days after those nuptials. Took 3 undertakers a week to try to get that smile off of his face. That's the first time I ever seen them bury a man with no top on his casket. Well, my daddy liked that man, and it meant that I had to marry that man. And I figured that Daddy should have married him himself if he liked him so much. Because ain't nothing an old man can do for me, well, except bring me a message from a young man. I would rather buy a young man a ticket to Los Angeles than to even tell the old man how far away it is. I don't like no old man. And if you ever see me nowadays with any man that's over the age of 29, I'm holding him for the police. Yeah, they accuse me of like a young man, and I'm guilty. I'm going to get even guiltier just as soon as I can find me some more guilt. Oh, well, that old man that I married, excuse me here. That old man that I married, he was the nearest thing to death that you've ever seen in your life. His shadow weighed more than he did. We got married, they threw 1 grain of rice, hit him upside his head, and then knocked him out. And a week later, he went to snap his fingers and broke his wrist. And he was ugly, y'all. He was so ugly. He hurt my feelings. He was so ugly that he had to sneak up on a glass just to get a drink of water. So ugly, so yuggly, muggly, fugly, ugly, that he went and got himself a job down at the doctor's office, standing by the door, making people sick. And one day I just couldn't handle it anymore, you know. And I always try to be nice when I say things and nice to everybody, you know, looking out for a person's feelings. And he came home from work from a double duty of ugly. And I said, honey, did you get the number? He said, what number, darling? I said, the one on the license plate of the truck that ran over your face. I thought he was never going to die. Rat poison agreed with him. I felt a little bad for him, you know, and I know he likes his long bubble baths on Sunday, so I went out and I bought him some of those plug-in toys for his bath water, you know, an electric razor, an electric toaster, but he still wouldn't die. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't talk about him like that, though, you know, because he is dead now. They say you really shouldn't talk about the dead, unless you say something good. He's dead. Good! And I know he's dead because I had him cremated. I burned him up. I was determined he was going to get hot at least one time anyhow. That old undertaker had the nerve to call me and ask me, did I want the ashes? I was like, hell no. Burn him up too. I ain't looking for no memories. Children, you make sure that you go out there and you give some love. The more love you give, the more you get. And that's what life is all about. Just love. Make sure y'all do that. Life can be so sweet since I got rid of Mr. Pete.